Hey everybody, so I am back today with another video, and this video is going to be a fun video because this is something else for you guys to get to know me as more as a person. And this is my horror movie collection. I just have like 2 stacks. I don't have like a bookshelf or anything full, but I do enjoy horror movies, anywhere from cheesy horror movies to really good horror movies. And I kind of want to give you guys like what drew me to liking horror movies and the first movie that scared the shit out of me. So I always kept telling my mom when I was a kid, I'm like, I want to see this movie, I want to see this movie, and she's like, you're too young to see this movie. And I said, well, at what age can I start watching horror movies? And she said that I wasn't allowed to really watch horror movies until I hit like 10. But I somehow managed to talk her into letting me watch a horror movie at the age of 9. And the first horror movie that I ever got to see and wanted to see, and I was dying to see it, and that was Scream. The original Scream. And that came out in 1996. That movie is 21 years old. Holy crap. That is scary. That is weird. So, I remember the day, still to this day, and I probably still remember this day until I die. And, I wanted to see it. It came out to Blockbusters. And we got in the car and we went to Blockbusters, and I was so excited. I was like, I can't wait to see this. And another reason why I really wanted to see Scream is because I am a major Drew Barrymore fan. And she was in the movie, and I thought she was going to be in the movie a lot longer than what she was in it for. And we went to the Blockbusters. I was so happy. I walked out of Blockbusters with my movie in my hand, and I was just walking to the car, and I'm like, this is going to be a fun night. And we get home, and we put the movie in, and you got to think, this is like horror movies of 96, and like the generation that you're in, so anything that comes out in that time frame is obviously going to be freaky. It's going to look real to you. So I was watching the movie, and I was sitting real close to the TV, and I had my pillow, and I'm just looking at the TV like that, and I got so scared when he stabbed her and hung her on the tree. I started screaming and crying, and I ran, and I didn't want to watch the movie anymore. And I told my mom that I was never going to watch horror movies ever again, but as you can tell, that was a pathological lie. I love horror movies, and when I got a little bit older, I went and I watched Scream again. And it was kind of scary at first because when I was a kid, all I remembered was being terrified of that movie. And when I finally got a little bit older and I watched it, I was like, this is kind of corny. So that's what started me on wanting to be obsessed and really enjoying horror movies. And so that was that. Scream is what got me into horror movies. And if you're wondering, I did not get my lip pierced. This is a 7-year-old piercing that I decided to put back in. I had took it out, but I decided I wanted it back in. And if you're wondering what lip color I'm wearing, it is Daddy from the Jeffree Star and Manny MUA, I think is his name, collab. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Alright, so the first one, I'm going to start with Blu-rays, and then I'm going to go in with my DVDs. And they're just going to be random. I'm not going to have them like categorized because I ain't about that life. Alright, so the first movie that I own is the remake of A Nightmare on Elm Street. A lot of people didn't like this movie I think a lot of it is because people were just so used to Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger that when they made this guy, they made him more dark, they made him more creepier. He wasn't joking, he was like really trying to get to the point of finishing his business of what the parents did to him. I kind of think that's why people didn't really like it, but I enjoyed it because I am a horror freak. So I enjoyed that. The next movie is not really like a horror movie, slasher, blood and guts, but it is categorized as more like a thriller, which to me, it sets in that category, and that is Get Out. I put this in my favorites video, and I really enjoy this video. I actually watched it again the other night. If you have not seen it, definitely watch it. It's I love movies that keep you on the edge of your seat, like trying to figure it out, and at the very end you get mind blown. I love those type of movies. And then the next one I have is, I found this at Dollar General, and this is just a value Blu-ray, and it's the movie The Crazies. I love this movie for being like a zombie type movie. I think this is a pretty good one. A lot of zombie movies are kind of cheesy and corny. Like they just make the zombies a little weird and whatever, but I absolutely love this movie. The next one I have is Freddy vs. Jason, and some of these you will see duplicates of, and that is because I have like collector's sets of horror movies. I remember this movie. I'm going to give a little flashback story about this movie. Trying to think, when did this come out? 2009, 2003, I don't know. But me and this guy that we were friends, we were hanging out, and Freddy vs. Jason came out to theaters. And we decided to get extremely stoned and try to watch this movie stoned, and we went in there and we both flipped out, tripped out, got scared, and left the theater because I don't know what was going on, but we had just smoked, and then we went in there, and the part where they were showing a little backstory of Freddy Krueger, of like all the blood splattering, like, and you're so stoned you don't know what's going on. It was really creepy and really scary, so we decided to haul ass and leave, and we never wanted to see that movie ever again, but I've seen it like 100 times after that. The next movie that I own, and that is Deathgasm. I received this in my horror block that I did. I was subscribed to them for a little while, but it took forever for the boxes to get to you, and I kind of think they were overpriced for some of the items that you did receive. I don't know if anytime in the future I will ever go back to horror block. I have thought about it, but I just don't know. I haven't came to a final conclusion. But all this movie really is about is like a bunch of like young punks. They played a song, and then they like arose like this demon type dude and whatever. And so that's that. I mean, for it, I think this was like a Swedish film or something. For it being an overseas film, it was alright. Nothing that I would really like jump to watch a million more times. The next one I picked up is obviously the remake of Evil Dead. Now, I think this one was really good. I can't sit here and tell you if it's better than the original, because I have never seen the original. I didn't even know that this was a remake until after I owned it. And people were talking about, you know, that's a remake. And I'm like, are you serious? They're like, yeah. So I looked it up, and it is a remake. So I did enjoy this movie a lot. The next movie I own is The Conjuring. This movie was okay. Like, what I was getting off of it, it was like ghost and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden it like went into an exorcism, and I'm like, how do we go from ghosts to exorcisms? But, I mean, I can understand, like, supposedly the spirit got into her and all that stuff, but they made it seem more like they were hunting ghosts and stuff, and then at the very end, it was like, boom, we have, like, the exorcist in our basement. Which, that kind of threw me off with this movie, and I was like, so, The Conjuring, wasn't one of my favorites. This movie now in particular is not really a horror movie, but I just classify it as a horror movie because it is zombies, and if you know me, I am obsessed with zombies, and that is Warm Bodies. It's more of like a romantic comedy type zombie movie, but I thought I would just throw this in here just because it was zombie related. And I classify this as like a horror type movie because he is a zombie. So I really did like that movie. That was super cute. Now the next one is really not a horror movie, but I just classify this as a horror movie and dark, scary movie. And that is Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas. I love Jack Skellington. Sue me, call me weird, call me goth, call me whatever. I love Jack Skellington. When this movie first came out way back in the day, I used to own it on VHS. And from all the times that we've moved and stuff, I have lost it. So as I got older, I believe this was a birthday present to me one year. So that's that. I love A Nightmare Before Christmas. I love it. Even though they play this at Christmas and at Halloween, but whatever. The next movie is zombie related, but I mean, I guess you can classify this as a horror movie, but it is zombies, and that is World War Z. I fucking love this one too, because like I said, there are not way too many movies that make zombie movies like really good. So when I do find me a nice, good horror movie or zombie movie, I definitely put it in as classification as my horror movies because I love zombies. Alright. Excuse me. The next movie I really enjoy, and this is another classification of things that they're a hit and miss on movies, and that is vampires. Daybreakers. I love this movie. It's a really good, well-written vampire type movie. I really love this movie. If you have not seen it, I would definitely recommend it. It's not like your typical where the vampire comes out of his coffin and all that stuff. It's pretty interesting, so I would definitely check that out if you have not seen it. Now, this is my last of Blu-ray, I believe. Yes. And that is, I picked this, well, someone sent me birthday money a couple years back, and I decided to get the Halloween Complete Collector's Edition, and I found this at Walmart for $40, I believe. And, come on, do I need to explain anything? Michael Myers, Halloween. This even has all of the... Alright, you have all originals of, like, the first two are John Carpenter's, and then the other ones are, like, the return of Michael Myers, inspired by John Carpenter, because John Carpenter only did the first two. And then we go on to, like, the newer type Halloweens, and then the one thing I really love about this collector's edition is you have the Rob Zombie versions in there. And if you are a true Michael Myers fan, please tell me that you agree with me on this. And that is, a lot of people think that the Rob Zombie was more better because they kind of explained more of like why Michael Myers did what he did, blah, 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 blah. But I think he just took it like a little too far out there, Rob Zombie did, compared to John Carpenter, where he just kind of like kept your mind going. I don't know. I like John Carpenter's a whole lot better than Rob Zombie. Okay, so the next movie I own is the complete Saul collection, and that is every single Saul movie. Yes. So, at first, yes, includes all 7 unrated films, and this is only the DVD version, and I picked this up at Walmart last year during Halloween for $8, so I think that was a really good deal for 7 movies for $8. I never seen these when they first came out because I'm kind of not really into torture movies. So that's one thing I would advise if you have not seen these and you don't like torturing type movies. This is definitely not a movie for you, because there are some like things that these people have to be stuck in to get out, and it's kind of gross and disturbing. But I absolutely love the Saul series. Very well written, and it's just, you would have to see them to know what I'm talking about. I really enjoy this collection. The next movie I really enjoy, and this movie also kept me on the edge of my seat because it was so freaking creepy. It was like, can he really see you, or is he acting blind? Like, a lot of times I thought he was acting blind, because he would be like right up in their face and looking at them, and I'm like, oh my god. And that is Don't Breathe. Holy crap. Like, now, one thing that I do know about horror movies is a lot of times the horror movie is so good, it's so interesting, it keeps you going, and then at the end they destroy it, and it's like, what were you doing? Like, did your mind just forget something? But it was really good, and then at the very end, it like just went completely to a whole nother level. Like, we weren't even going down that road, buddy. So, Don't Breathe, that was really good. Except for the ending was kind of, yeah. Alright, the next video set collection I own, and that is the 8-disc movie of Nightmare on Elm Street complete full collection on DVD. I think I paid $15 for this at Walmart. I broke down last year, and this year I'm probably not going to do this again. I can see why AMC Horror Fest only plays the first 2 to 3 of these, because after that it just becomes corny. Like, you are supposed to be killing people. You are not supposed to be out there twisting your arms, laughing like you're a clown. You are not it. Okay, you are Freddy Krueger. Like, I don't even know, like, what the imagination went to. Like, he went into a dream world, and then he went over to this world. And I'm like, oh my god. So, I'll probably just watch the first to the 3rd one. So, that's that. The next one that I own, and I'm such a happy fan that I own this movie. Or a happy person that I own this movie, and that is Stephen King's original It. I picked this up at Walmart for $5. It is the DVD version, and I can't wait to see the new one. Like, everyone's raving about it, and I'm sitting over here like, hi, I can't go to the movies because I'm broke. I have bills to pay. So I actually watched this the other night. I still enjoy it. I still love it. I just really want to see like what the new one's about, because he looks a lot more darker, scarier, and creepier. Alright, and then the next film set that I own, and that is the Hellraiser Complete Collection. I thought I hit a gold mine when I found this. I found this at Walmart for $5. And it says the Hellraiser Collection, and I was like, hell yeah! So I freaked out. I come home. This has every Hellraiser but the first 2, which are the ones that did the most money and are the best ones. So I was a little disappointed in that, and I really thought I was hitting a gold mine with this. I was like, Hellraiser complete full collection for $5. Hell yeah, you're going in my cart. And I come home and every Hellraiser but the first two. So I would not advise this. I mean, if you own the first two and you're looking for the rest of the collection, then hey, that would be a good way to go for $5. Alright, so the next movie I own, and that is From Hell. I really love this movie. To be honest, I have not seen this movie in a long time. I just read the first line and it tells you what it's about. I was going to tell you guys I don't know what it's really about. I don't remember. But it is about Jack the Ripper, which was a serial killer in England that was never caught. So I really enjoyed this movie. And I also love Johnny Depp's acting. Alright, and then the other movie that I own, I think this is just the first one. Yeah, and that is Paranormal Activity. And when I went to Walmart last year buying these collection sets, and then I see the full collection set of this for like $10, and I was like, I own the first one. That's the thing that kind of annoys me, is I have like all these collection sets, and then like at certain points in times before I found the collection sets, I've bought like the other movies. That's how I ended up with duplicates. Paranormal Activity, it's an okay movie. Like the first one was really good back in the day. It was creepy, it was like whatever, and then like they just kept going with it, and it just became stupid and stupid and stupider, and it's like, that's another thing that really irritates me about horror movies, is like, if the first couple ones are really good, leave it alone, don't put your 2 cents in it, because like The Wrong Turn, the first one was so good, and now it's like they have like The Wrong Turn 10 by now, and you're like, you just ruined the first movie. So the next movie I own, and that is Curse of Chucky. I think I picked this up at Hastings when it was still in town. It went out of business in the town that I live in, and I think I picked this up for like $5 or $10. I don't really remember. I actually thought this was a remake of Chucky, and I was like, they got Chucky looking weird. I'm like, what were they thinking? And then you come to realize, I don't want to blow it, but you come to realize that they're still going with the story of Chucky. Alright, and then I picked up Demonic Toys from my horror block. This was in the horror block. Can we just say corny? But I still liked it, because I like corny horror movies. This was really bad. When did it come out? I don't know. It doesn't give me a date. So this was really badly made, but I still sat through it and I watched it because I love horror movies. Alright, and then the next movie that I own, and that is a Quentin Tarantino's Hostel. This is another movie that is torture type, so if you're not into torture, I would not recommend watching this. This is just about like a bunch of things that can happen if you go into these other countries. A lot of people don't think of stuff like that. They're just like, I want to go to this country and look. And then these guys ended up in a bad situation. So yeah, I like that movie. I really do. It reminds me a lot of Saul and shit. Now the next one is, now this movie, not one of my favorites, and that is House of the Dead 2. I picked it up for $6.99. As you can tell, this is extremely old because it was still at Blockbusters. And probably when Blockbusters was going out of business, they were having blowout sales. So yeah, I picked this up. I'm not even going to really explain it because that movie is just that bad that I didn't like it that much. Now this is, I gotta see here, which one is which because, okay. So this is the there are so many Texas Chainsaw Massacres out there that I couldn't even begin to tell you which one. But out of all the ones that I've seen, this is the one that has Jessica Biel, or Bell, however you say it. And I honestly think that this was the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie out of all the ones that I've seen. I just feel like that they really made it seem like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And if you're wondering, a lot of people at first thought that this was a real true story. It is, but it isn't. Like, there was really no guy that ran around with a chainsaw chopping people up in Texas. They based it off that, oh God, he was a serial killer. I'll have to be right back. Okay, thank you, Google. Google is my brain. So, what a lot of people don't understand, a lot of people said, this is a true story, this is a true story. They based it off Ed Gein, which was a serial killer back in the day. If you don't believe me, Google it, honey. He would kill his victims and he would wear them on their face. That's how they got the inspiration of Leatherface, because if you know, in the movie, he would take people's face and wear them. So they were basing it off Ed Gein, but they were like taking it to a whole nother level because they couldn't just sit there and copy Ed Gein and all that crap. So that's that, and a lot of people aggravate me when they say, that was a true story, this guy went around killing people with a chainsaw. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Alright, and then this is the beginning of the Texas Chainsaw, relating back to this specific movie, talking about how it all happened and all that crap. So this movie is about everything that happened before this movie, which I hate when they do that because it's like, really? It's almost to the point to where they kind of destroyed this movie. They should have just left it as he went around killing people in Texas with a chainsaw. So that is that. Alright, so we're down to the last two movies, and they are collector's editions. Now, this one is the collector edition of Chucky. And as I told you, I would have a double. So this one came with the Curse of Chucky. And I'm like, awesome sauce. So pick this one up. I really like this one. It opens up like a book. And then you have all your movies sitting in there. And once you take your movies out, they have little pictures of Chucky. And here's Chucky again. I love Chucky, but the thing that really makes me laugh is, holy shit, my camera battery is about ready to die, is how the hell can you not be killed from a little doll that's like this much bigger and you're like this much bigger. So I'm going to rush really quick because my camera battery has 2 minutes. And then the last but not least, and that is the Friday the 13th collection, and we found this at Walmart, believe it or not, for $40, and I cannot believe it because online collector's editions of Friday the 13th were going from like $50 to over $100, and I found this for $40. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big huge thumbs up, like, subscribe, and comment down below which one is your favorite movie, and I'll see you next time.